Hey people, Leave you here. Welcome to another review. This time we're looking at another synthwave album. Now, I think you guys probably remember the review for Midnight Danger and his album Malignant Force. And since I said that I will review more synthwave artists on this channel, here we are with Nina and her 2018 LP entitled Sleepwalking. Okay, now, whilst the previous album was more on the darker side of the synthwave genre, here we're going full pop vocal synth with lots of harmonious vocal melodies, really gentle keyboard arrangements, and not a very fast-paced drum beat in general. So how did I end up listening to Nina? Well, it was actually a bit of a funny story. As I usually mention, YouTube is pretty bad nowadays. But it just so happens that from time to time the YouTube recommendations can bring out some hidden gems. And while I was scrolling through one of my synthwave playlists, which was mostly dominated by instrumental albums, suddenly this album pops up, and it was actually the aesthetics of the cover art and of the presentation on YouTube with the whole neon coloring and all the flashy clothes and everything that drew my attention. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. It has the aesthetics of a synthwave song or album. But seeing the picture of Nina on the cover, I was a bit okay. So we're talking about the singer here. All right, so here we are. Now, as you can see, the aesthetics are all there. Lots of neon, lots of color. And of course, you have the main singer, you have the main composer, you have Nina on the cover. It's pretty self-explanatory, not much there. But it does fit the music really well, because there is an air of a lot of all these synthwave tropes that we are already familiar with the whole 80s synthesizer sound, the aesthetics as well. And yeah, it actually fits. I would say it fits really well. Now, on to the album. This one was released in 2018, and before then, and actually after then, Nina has released quite a lot of singles and EPs. But because, as you know me, I'm not that much into the EPs and the singles kind of thing, I actually do enjoy listening to a full album. I thought that this was the appropriate review for today. Alright, so the album has about 11 songs. They all clock around the time of 4 or 3 minutes, with the opener probably being the longest beyond memory. It actually is an extended version of the song. It's actually probably one of the most interesting songs on the album. And of course, the arrangements are not that heavy. When we're talking about other synthwave artists, you probably would hear a lot of layers upon layers of rolling basses and pounding rhythms on the electronic drum. But with this album, it definitely the approach is definitely more restrained when it comes to the instrumental part. There is still a lot of harmonies and interesting keyboard riffs, but mostly the music is there, these compositions are there to suit and to fit Nina's voice, which is the main driving force of the album. And my god, it's a really great singing voice. I absolutely love the way she sings. Alright, now if I would say that there are particular highlights on the album, almost all of the songs are really freaking solid, and let's get to them. Now, as I said, Beyond Memory is a very strong opener, a very powerful and emotional chorus. Her voice is basically soaring above these keyboard arrangements. Born to Live is a bit more upbeat. Sleepwalking, definitely the title track, is also a very powerful song. It Kills Me is actually a very emotional song that I enjoyed quite a lot. It was not my favorite when I first listened to the album, but with multiple replays I realized that I really like this more honest and heartfelt approach from Nina. going on. Purple Sun is probably the weakest track on the album. I can't say I enjoyed it too much. Empire of Love is also awesome. Diamond in the Rough also rocks pretty hard. But where actually the album, I think, the hit of this particular album from Nina is actually the last song, 80s Girl. And this song really struck me because I was listening to the lyrics and you know, to the song and everything. I realized that this song is probably about her mother, which is also really cool. And once I realized that, the emotional impact was even stronger. It was actually a really wholesome song. I can't even tell if it's sad or happy, but there is an air of melancholy when I'm listening to that song. All right, what else can I say about her singing? Because obviously, being on the poppier side of synthwave, the singing is extremely important. What I do like about the way she sings is that there is an air of sensibility and sometimes even more of a sensuality here and there, but it's not overt. I would say that she has a great way of expressing a lot of emotions and feelings, but not coming on as being overbearing or, you know, over the top. And I think this is a sign of maturity from her as an artist, because I hear a lot of singers, a lot of great singers that probably just try to overact in their songs, but they probably are missing the point in some instances, but not Nina. It's actually really refreshing to see someone that can deliver more of the upbeats type of songs with these soaring vocals, with these powerful choruses, and she also can be really gentle and, you know, and actually very sensitive. And yeah, it's an interesting mix, and I think she's probably one of the best synthwave artists out there right now. All right, so in conclusion, Sleepwalking is a really good album. I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it probably 10 or 15 times, maybe even more, and I'm still listening to it right now, and I still enjoy it a lot. So if you haven't really listened to synthwave that much and you're more coming from a pop environment, you're probably more listening to stuff like, I don't know, Lord or you know, all these pop artists. I don't know them that well, okay? I'm more into the underground stuff. I think that this is a really good introduction for you guys into the synthwave world, and probably, who knows, from here forwards you can go into the more darker side of this music. All right, so please tell me in the comments, what do you think about Nina? What do you think about synthwave in general? What do you think about this album? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Why? Anyway, I'll leave you for now, and we'll be right back with a rocking black metal album review really soon.